leopard print. Look at that. And there wasn't any special, like, fiddling around. It's just a top coat that makes this kind of, it just splits on contact and goes into this kind of leopard print look. I just love them. They're just so cool. Anyway, enough of my nails. I'll show you when you all join me, because I have to, they just look like I've spent ages on them, even though I haven't. Right, I'm going to put some base on, and then we're going to get going with a look that's been inspired by Rosie S. Hello, Shahina. Now, Rosie S got pillow talk, and it was too dark on her, and she's tempted. Hello, Maria. She's tempted to get Walk of No Shame, but again, she thinks it's going to be a bit dark on her, but she likes colour. And so I thought it inspired me to do another look today using Walk of No Shame, but kind of toning it down a bit so that if you're fair-skinned, or maybe it's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but you like the shade, but you don't want it to look too heavy, I'm going to do a bit of a kind of watered down look using Walk of Shame Eyes to Mesmerise, or Walk of No Shame, I should say. I'm just putting on some of Charlotte's Invisible Flawless Poreless Primer. Oh, Selfridges have their sale on some Charlotte Tilbury today. That's interesting. They got Pillow Talk mascara, because I could do with a refill on that. If so, I'll go on afterwards. I could definitely do with a refill. Mine is getting to the end. Right, so that's Invisible. Now, what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is putting, after the live, hello, Stacey. After the live, I put a list in the description bar of all the products that I use in my live. So as soon as I come off, I quickly go and recite it. You know, you can recite into your phone. It types it all up for you, what I put on. You saw some palettes. Okay, well, I'll definitely go and have a little look. I've got most of her stuff. Because I got so much of her stuff, of course, I never use anything up. Right, I'm going to use the Airbrush Flawless Foundation today, and I'm going to use, I've run out of my sample of 8 Cool. Hello, Loz Dunn. Loz Dunn or Loz Dunn? Hello, thank you for joining us. And thank you once again to everyone for reaching 2,000 subscribers. I am very happy. You know, it's never really been about numbers to me, but obviously loyalty and popularity, yes. But it's great. It just shows it's still growing. And if I got up to 2,000 when I've hardly been putting out videos recently, then I'm very happy. Hello. You caught up with me and went past me, Rebecca, very early on, but you put them out a lot more regularly than me, and we're not in competition with one another. You're good, that's why, and so are you. I can't keep up with your videos, Rebecca. You must be bankrupt, all the stuff you get. Can I have a little rant? Because you know you love my rants. I want to give an award to the Jobsworth of the year. Does anyone mind if I have a little rant? Because this will make you laugh. It's actually quite funny. Right, so I've been getting at Foot Health. They've been putting these dressings on my feet. They're like foam dressings that pad out my heel to stop my pressure area building up. And they really are quite effective. And obviously when I'm there, they put one on. but then I have to change it when I get a shower and whatever, and it starts wearing down. So, hello, thank you, Julie. And so I bought some a while ago, but they're £32 for 5. And I thought, I'm going to order 2 packets because I'd run out. And I thought, hang on a minute. It says £27 excluding VAT. Why am I paying VAT on dressings? I have a long-term disability. I'm going to email them and ask them, right, if I can. And this company, by the way, they really deserve a shout out for Jobs Worth of the Year. Medisave, they're called, right? So I contacted them and I said, I want to claim VAT exemption. It's not a luxury, non-essential item, and I have a long-term disability. And they said, okay, exactly. So they said, okay, you need to fill out a VAT exemption form. I said, fine. But they didn't put one in the reply. So already I'm picking up the fact that they're not really keen on doing this, but they can't say no, kind of thing. So I just went onto the government website, got the VAT exemption certificate, filled it in, signed it, scanned it, sent it back, said, here's the VAT exemption certificate. So they came back and they said, no, sorry, I'm really sorry, you got to fill in our form. Well, why didn't you put that in the first email? And I'd have filled in their form. So I filled out their form, which is exactly the same as the government form. Hello, Emma. Exactly the same questions, except it's got their headed note paper on the top, their logo. I'm just putting on Airbrush Flawless in shade 7 Neutral. Right, and I said, just let me know then how you're going to organise me paying for it, and I'll order 2 packets of these things. Because, you know, without VAT, I'll get about 15 quid off. The next thing, they came back. Now, I'm going to call this, I called it twaffle, right, which is a mixture of waffle and being a twit. Because when that's the best word I can think of it. Somebody making up a reason why they're not going to let you have something. Right, but they picked the wrong person, because I used to work in the NHS and I used to procure loads of things via the NHS. Right, twaffle. So this is the twaffle that came out. So they came back and said, I'm really sorry. Thank you for your completed form. But my management team have informed me that you're not entitled to a VAT exemption because of your disability. Now, wait for this. It is so hilarious. The reason being is that you only get VAT exemption when you're treating a condition, not the aftermath of a condition. And since your foot problems are an aftermath of your spina bifida, you can't have it. An aftermath. My foot ulcers are an aftermath. And actually, it really is a luxury item, because you know what? Those foam absorbent dressings, they're a really great accessory to have with my medical shoes. They match them perfectly, and I don't really need them. I'm being sarcastic. So I wrote back and said, what the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard in my life. I don't know what you're going on about, but I had VAT exemption on the mobility scooter that I used at work, the chair that I was sitting on at work, and by the way, I work for the NHS. You're going to message me on Instagram. Yes, thank you. So the Jobs Worth of the Year goes to Medisave. Medisave, because basically they just couldn't be bothered to put through a VAT exemption. Other websites, you go on, it says, are you exempt because of a disability? You put in yes, you sign the declaration, it automatically takes you off at the website. But they didn't have that set up, and they were saying, we'll have to give you our backs details, and they just didn't want to do it. After effect of my condition. Yeah, I was cured of spina bifida. I was born with it. I'm now cured of it. And this is all after effects. So I didn't get no, and I told them they could keep their order. I'm not paying VAT on it. I'm just cutting my nose off to spite my face because there's very few other places that sell these dressings. But I will not pay VAT on them. I'm going to take the email to my podiatry clinic because the guy there, he loves stuff like that, and it's going to give him a great laugh. They can have a look at the email. They'll probably give me a couple of freebies at the Foot Health Clinic, but they love having a laugh about Jobsworth people. I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. It says you get VAT exemption on a long-term disability. It's got nothing to do with treatments and aftermaths. Absolute rubbish. Right, that is my... let me say hello to you all now. I've had my little rant. Okay, so you know I like to start with a little rant, but it's actually a funny rant because it made me howl laughing. Right, Shahina. Hello, Shahina. Hello, Maria. Hello, Stacey. Hello, Loz. You found a great mascara by W7. Oh, I'll have to have a look at that, Maria. Thank you. Good tip there. Hello, Rebecca. Hello. Oh, and it's a business, so you got to spend. Exactly. I knew you'd say that, Rebecca. I know it's part of your business, and for me, it's a hobby. Oh, go on, Ali. Everyone wants me to rant. You should be exempt from VAT. Exactly. Jobsworth. Well, it's the best thing. Jobsworth and my word, twaffle. Twaffle, which is waffle by a twit. Hello, Ali and pals. Sorry you're late. That's banned from my channel, Emma. You're not allowed to say sorry you're late. Because everyone can join in whenever they're free. Everyone's arriving. I also just got here. Hello, Terry. Hello, Bushra. Twit Twaffle, yes. I was just watching your video about organising. Oh, I'll have to look at that one, Rebecca. Twaffle, yes, twaffle. It's my new word. Waffle by twit. What is Ali discussing, please? That's, looks, an excuse. I'm discussing somebody making up a reason why I can't have VAT exemption on dressings on my feet because they're not really essential non-luxury items. I just like wearing foam dressings on my heels because they match my clothes. I'm being sarcastic. Yes. So I didn't get the VAT exemption and I didn't order the dressings. Hello, Una. You're newish. Some people aren't so... some people are so thoughtless, aren't they? It's not thoughtless. It's just they can't be bothered and they think they can come out with some stupid excuse, but they don't realise that actually I was a service manager in the NHS and I can smell BS a mile away. Making a coffee after that rant. Your perfumes are looking so lovely on Insta. Oh, I need to check up. I sent you a new pic of the new CT quads. Oh, new CT quads. Thank you, Stacey. I will go on. I've been on Instagram this morning, but I haven't checked any of my private messages. I hope I've said hello to everyone. Have I ignored anyone? Not that I've done it deliberately. I'm going to mix some of this Fab concealer. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And you know what? My eyeshadow never lasted so long. It looked like it was freshly applied at about 10 o'clock last night. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, I did a little video yesterday about this Aldi dupe of Shape Tape. It only comes in 3 shades, so I have to mix 2 of them together. But I used it as an eyelid primer, and I've never known my eyeshadow to look so freshly applied so many hours later. It was perfect. So I'm going to use it as an eye primer, and I'm just mixing the mocha and the latte shades together. to use under this. Really, really good concealer, and it costs $3.99 in Aldi. I cannot rave about this enough. It's just a shame that they haven't brought out more shades. But at $3.99, I think you can afford to buy 2 and mix them. They normally do have a store locator. Oh, I see. The store locator, but it doesn't tell you whether they're in store. The problem with Aldi as well is they move everything around every week. So when they get like a special buys on Sunday, there's a section for the most recent special buys, and then there's another section for last week's special buys. And as new things arrive, they move everything around. So you really have to look. So, but I'm definitely going to go in and look for this. And also, they brought out a dupe of Emma Hardy's Moringa Cleansing Balm. It's $6.99. I've been taking my makeup off with it the last couple of nights. And you know what? It's worth it just for the cloth. The cloth has got a flannel on one side and a muslin cloth on the other side. And it looks just like the one that comes in the Emma Hardy Cleansing Balm. But look at that concealer. Now, I'm just going to put the light one on my lids because it makes the perfect. I mean, if this is not medium. This is supposed to be medium, this shade. The one I'm putting on my eyelids. But I promise you, if you put that on as an eyelid primer, your makeup will last the whole day. It's insane. Your Aldi doesn't sell makeup. Oh, that's a shame. Mine does, but you really have to search. You have to go and root through different shelves. You know, sometimes you'll find it amid screwdrivers and all sorts of things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. I've still got a bit of this mixed one on my hand, so I'm just putting some. Does it stop? Yeah, it doesn't crease. It's honestly, it is one of the best that I've ever tried. It is so good. And the coverage is insane. Look at that. I mean, it'll probably crease on my eyelids as I shut them because my eyelids are very hooded, but it does not crease underneath at all. Look, you can see it's a dupe of Tarte Shape Tape. Look, I still got this one out from yesterday. There's Tarte Shape Tape, and there's the Aldi one. That goes on the UK. The problem is, Rebecca, it might go on the list, but some of these things are only released for a certain amount of time, and then they take them off the shelves. So you have to be careful with that one. It's not one with Aldi that sometimes if something's very popular, they decide to continue it and put it in their everyday range. But you have to watch out. I did that. I got a really good micellar water that some micellar waters make my face sting for some reason. And I got one in Aldi that was 79 pence and it was a rose one. And really good. And I've been using it literally every day. And I went back thinking, oh, they'll have loads of that and it'll go in their regular items. And they'd stop doing it. So when I find something now that I like, I tend to stock up. So I'm definitely going to stock up. I might even get the light concealer just because it's so good as an eyelid primer. If I'm putting on, say, a blue eyeshadow, I'd imagine that the lightest one, if that's medium, the lightest one is going to be almost white. And that will counteract my blue eyeshadow looking green. Because when you've got a yellow undertone and you go and put blue eyeshadow on, it starts looking green and other colours because of the yellow undertone. So putting on a white base actually prevents your blue eyeshadow looking green. And I'm just putting on a bit of my La Prairie loose powder. I've been using that consistently. I've been swapping around my foundations a bit, but I've been using the powder every day. And I'm just going to quickly set that on my eyelids. But you can see it's very, very good coverage. I'll just dot a bit underneath as well. Right, Bushra's asked me a question. Bushra, if I made a huge order on, I got the Overachiever Concealer. Has anyone tried it before? Yes, the Overachiever Concealer is brilliant. Very, very similar, Bushra, to Charlotte's one. Charlotte's, what she call her concealer? My mind's gone blank. You know, the one in the pen, except it's got a more hygienic pen. It's not got that horrible little foam thing that everyone ends up pulling off. It's got a kind of metal tip. It's very good. I like the you won't be disappointed with Overachiever. Definitely not. Magic concealer. Of course it's magic, isn't it? How could I forget that? Thank you, Sunshine. Emma. Right, so this is for Rosie S. Am I shouting? I'm getting all enthused and excited these days, and I think it's making me shout. So I'm going to keep my voice down. Rosie S is not sure whether she should get the Walk of No Shame. Now, before I start this, just want to remind anybody new watching me, there is no incentive whatsoever for me to encourage you to buy anything that you don't want to, right? And it may be after this look that Rosie S says, no, I still don't like that look. It's not going to look right on me. I'm not trying to convince anyone to buy anything, right? But sometimes if we like a colour, but you think, oh, I'm not sure that's in my comfort zone, then tweaking it a little bit, actually you think, yeah, I can wear that colour if I do that. And I really like that colour. So this is if you really like this new Walk of Shame colour, but you think it might be a bit too much for you, either because you're very fair or it's a colour that perhaps steps a little bit out of your comfort zone. I found just looked at a way to tone it down a little bit. So first before I do the Walk of Shame Eyes to Mesmerise, and I got everything ready and now I can't find what I want. Isn't it always the way? I get everything. Here we go. Right. I'm going to use Super Nudes palette. Now, you don't have to use the Super Nudes palette. What you want is a kind of... I'm going to use this shade here. By the way, look at my nails, guys. My leopard nails. There you go. Right. You don't have to use this palette. But what you want is a kind of neutral taupey brown. You don't want a warm brown because then that's going to look too warm with... We want something to tone it down so that you feel a bit more comfortable. Thank you, Rebecca. And it's just a top coat, but it looks like you've done crazy like patterns on it yourself, but it's just a top coat that does that effect. It's really groovy. Anyway, groovy, that's giving my age away. So I'm going to use this. But you can use any similar colour to this, kind of a neutral taupey brown, okay? But not a brown like this. That's too warm. Because that's just going to make it look too dark again, all right? So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to take... Oh, she says, and went and picked up the warm brown. Right, let me clear that off my brush. So take your taupey brown... And you're going to put this on first and you're going to take it up in the socket. And don't worry if you get some on your mobile lid. It doesn't matter. Thank you. If you look on Instagram, I've put down the polishes that I've used. It's just a really great fun topper that makes whatever nail polish underneath looked like a leopard print. So we're just putting this in the outer corner and up into the socket here. So this is instead of using the Walk of Shame, No Shame palette, just using a neutral taupey brown. When I mean neutral, I mean a grey brown rather than a reddy brown. Okay? Like that. And you can take a little bit of that underneath as well. And then what I'm going to do now, I've seen Sophia doing this. This is a lip brush by Charlotte Tilbury. Right? It looks dirty then when I held it up, but it's not. Anyway, this is a lip brush by Charlotte Tilbury. And I use this more for my eyes than I do my lips, because I can't be bothered using lip brushes most of the time. But this is actually perfect for really targeting a cream eyeshadow. What we're going to do with this is get the Walk of Shame Eyes to Mesmerise. And literally all we're going to do is put it on the mobile lid and not above. Because yesterday I took it up a bit. But if you just get this on like this, and we're just going to put it on. And I'm actually only going to go up to that crease, because any further and it's going to start transferring. But that's going to give me that little pop of the colour that I like without feeling like it's too much. So if this is a colour that you really like, but you're afraid of it being too much for you, this is a way that you could use it. Yes. Oh, I'm going to come and look at the other newbies and everybody else. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting into doing this look for Rosie S. I'm not sure if Rosie S is with me today, but if not, I'm sure she watched me on playback, because I told her I was going to do this. Right. So can you see how it gives you that pop of colour, but without you feeling like, oh, I've got it all over my eyes. But when you open your eyes, you're going to see this lovely, I'm going to take that a bit higher, this lovely pop of colour. Right, and then you can, if you want, you can, I'm going to just start blending it in a little bit at the top, because I don't really want a cut crease look with this. Blend it in a little bit. I have taken it a bit higher up, but I want to blend the two together. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you want a highlighter, she says, and I haven't got one around. Why didn't I bring my highlighter? Let's see if there's one in this palette. Doesn't really matter what highlighter. But again, just to kind of break it up a bit, I'm going to look at this highlighter in my blue palette. That'll do. A highlighter's a highlighter. And just take that underneath the brow. In here, I'm just using the prime shade from the blue palette because it's in front of me. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on the middle. And again, you could use the pop shade from the Walk of No Shame palette. But if you haven't got that and that's a bit intimidating for you, Don't worry, just use any highlighter that you've got. So immediately that's kind of toned it down. You've got the colour that you like, but it's not overtaking the whole look, and you could get away with wearing that in the day. And then instead of using the Walk of Shame eye pencil, I would go for something like a brown. But then, certainly if you're fair-skinned, I'm going to just do something else with the liner. Fair-skinned and blue-eyed or green-eyed, I'm going to throw in another idea. So, or brown-eyed, actually. So, you just take a brown, I'm going to use, what shall I use? I shall use, where is my, I'm just looking for a brown. I might actually use, you can use any brown, but I'm just looking for a specific one here. Just can't find it. Where is it? No, that one's too light. That's not the right one. Come on, where are you? Ah, that's the one. I wanted the one that they used to call Audrey, but is now called brown, I think. I'm just going to give it a bit of a sharpen. Has anyone bought Audrey since it was renamed? I mean, this is an old pencil. I need to get a new one. I'm interested to know, because the black one that she bought out in the classic, this is the Charlotte Tilbury classic pencil. The black one is really soft and really pigmented. But the two browns that I got before are not. And I wonder if she updated the formula of the one that she used to call Audrey, which is now called brown. Oh, I'm going to join in with your conversation in a minute. You're all supporting one another. You're such a supportive community. I can see you're discussing family members that are going through difficult times. And I'm so sorry to hear that, Terry. So I've just put on that brown like that. But then if you want a little contrast, if you've got green eyes or blue eyes, let's just say you've got blue eyes. I'm just going to use blue because it contrasts with my brown eyes. And it also contrasts with the warmth of this. But this is Daniel Sandler's Aqua. And I love, it's one of my favourite for the waterline. Because it really lasts as well. It's just a bit of a contrast. Now, you don't need to. Again, this is me getting bold now. And you might not want to, this might not be within your comfort zone. If it's not, then you could use, what would also work very well with this is Charlotte's Eye Cheat, something that's a bit eye-opening. Okay, so it's just because it contrasts. Now, if you've got green eyes, you could put green in there. And then I'm going to get the mascara. Your mother-in-law's about to come and visit you. Let me catch up with some of this. Terry, so I'm okay. I lost track of times while taking care of my mother. She lives with us and dealing with cancer. I miss you guys too. Still hoping we can all meet up one day. I'm sorry to hear that, Terry, but we're all here for you whenever you're free. Don't feel like you've got to join us. I need a tissue all of a sudden. Excuse me a second. I'm just grabbing a tissue. Don't feel you got to join us when you can't, obviously. And I've always said to people, don't say sorry I'm late or sorry I couldn't make it, because the replay's up here for if you can't make it. And this is a nice informal drop-in for people to feel at home and friendly. Your mother-in-law, Maria, that's tricky. Because I hope that you've made it very clear to whatever carer support that they've got in there that you are also disabled, and that you know, your limitations. I'm sure you have, but they need it spelt out to them. Because I certainly, when my dad was discharged from hospital the first time, I went to speak to the occupational therapist and said, I want my dad to come home. We all do. But he's coming to stay with me and I am not steady on my feet. So I need to know that he is safe without support, like physical support from me. Because if he's not, he's going to be relying on someone. I said, if I try and support him going down the stairs, we're both going to end up at the bottom of the stairs. And that's not going to help him or me, because then we'll both be in hospital. No, exactly. Well, that's his privacy and dignity. That's her privacy and dignity as well. That's not, you know, and also for your granddaughter, she doesn't want to be doing that. It's her grandmother. So, yeah. Because I think these people, they kind of assume, oh, they're going home, these people will do it. They'll step in. But you can't do it, and your daughter should not be expected to do it. And also, your grandmother probably wouldn't want you to be doing stuff like that. I know my dad wouldn't. Like, if I had to bath my dad, he wouldn't want me to do that, even if I could physically, because that's not the role that we've had together. So, yeah. You can always chat to me, Maria, on Messenger. You got all three, did you? Nina, what? Nina got all three of the Aldi concealers last night. Well done. What is the light? I'm really interested. If that's medium, is the light one nearly white? It must be nearly white. I'm thinking I might get the light one as an eye base when I use, yeah. I'm thinking, you know, when I use this palette, and palettes like this, I'm going to show you. Because I've got yellow undertone in my skin, when I use blues like this and I put them on, they end up looking green because I've got a yellow undertone. So I like to put on a white eyeshadow base. So I want to get the light one. I'm going to pop into Aldi and get the light one for that reason. So I use it under any kind of blues. Which Aldi did you go to, Nina? Right, I just put Pillow Talk mascara on. And so that is basically the look. So this is for Rosie S. I'm kind of trying to make it a little bit more wearable. If you're a bit afraid, obviously you might not want to go for the blue. I think it would look stunning if you've got blue eyes. But even if you didn't want to go for the blue eyeliner, which, by the way, this is Daniel Sandler's. It really is good and it stays on. And they're really inexpensive, his eyeliners. This is it. But if you don't want to go for the blue, you could go for something like the eye cheat, you know, a kind of skin-coloured eye pencil underneath to keep the eye open. But I'm just wanted to do this for Rosie S because she likes the colour, but she wasn't sure whether or not she was comfortable with it being on her eyes, because it is a bit of an intimidating colour potentially if you whack it all over your eyes. So that's how to kind of tone it down and make it an everyday. So when I kind of lift up my eyebrows, you can see that pop of colour, which is kind of tying in with my top, but it's not all over my eyes and in your face like when I did it yesterday with the Walk of No Shame eyeshadow palette. Okay? Well, mine is quite good, and I'm in Colchester in Essex. You need a reasonably big one. Oh, that's such a lovely thing. Nina's saying she might go and buy them all from Aldi and send them out as gifts. I might stock up on a few as well, and then maybe give them out as gifts. We'll have a quiz or something, and we'll do a gift thing in a few weeks' time, and I'll give them out. But they're definitely for £3.99. Even the wrong. It's just a shame about the shades. But if you get all three, like Nina's done, you can mix them until you've got the right shade. And they are exactly the same formula, if not better than the Tarte Shape Tape. You're going to be moving over that way soon. Definitely if your Aldi's that good. We've actually got 2 Aldis in our town. I've never been into the other one, but we've actually got 2. Sorry, it's just, for some reason, my nose is running today. I think it's hay fever. Shall I put on the Walk of No Shame lip? Now, the other thing that I was asked about, before I do that, I can't remember who asked me this, but someone made a really good comment. And I'm going to put some swatches up later on Instagram saying, could I do swatch comparisons of the jewel pots of Walk of Shame and the Eyes to Mesmerise in Walk of No Shame? I keep wanting to call it Walk of Shame. I'm sorry. Walk of No Shame. So this is the jewel pot in Walk of No Shame. And then this is the Eyes to Mesmerise. Now, I reckon if you have both of these, it's a bit like having those Tom Ford duos. Do you remember the duos where you get the cream and you get the pot on top with the powder? So you could actually put that on. So there's the Walk of Shame, No Shame, Eyes to Mesmerise. And then you can put that on first. And then you could actually just set it if you wanted to. Very well. Let me use another finger. See, or you could use that as a pop shade. Instead of that highlighter, you could use that as a pop shade in the middle. And I promise you that this evening, my eyeshadow is going to look exactly the same as it does now with this underneath. It's worth it just to be an eyeshadow base. That's why it really doesn't matter if it's too light for you. If it's too light, don't worry. You will use it as an eyeshadow base. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And as I said, a sculptor. I mean, it's only slightly too dark for me, so it doesn't actually... It's not a brilliant sculptor on me because it's not dark enough, really, to be a sculptor. But if you're fair and you get mocha, you can definitely use that as a sculpt. So you could just... See what I mean? It's not dark enough. It's too dark to go under my eyes, but not dark enough to use as a sculpt. Bit of subtle contouring, possibly, but... And that's the thing with the Shape Tape. People often do use these and get different colours and use them to sculpt and highlight and stuff. And it is the same formula. Right, I'm going to chat to you all while I dig out my Walk of No Shame lip liner. By the way, I contacted Charlotte Tilbury about the colour of the blusher in the new palette. They said it's a limited edition and no match in the big blushers. Yeah. Watford Aldi isn't great for beauty. The real tip with Aldi is to get the app on your phone and then ask to be notified of special buys that are health and beauty. And then if you go in on Sunday morning, what happens is when they bring out one of these new products like this, the reason I actually managed to get this online is because if you go in on a Sunday when it's just come out, they release a certain amount online. And then after that, they've got them in all the stores. So the trick is to, if you want new releases and you want to get them online and not have to rummage around Aldi, is to go in on a Sunday when they're released and get them before they're sold out. And always with the concealers, the light and the medium always sells out quite quickly. So just if you go onto the app and then you can click like what notifications you want and you can say, I want to be notified of the special buys for health and beauty. And then it'll pop up, but then don't sit on it and think about it. Get it in. Once you put it in your basket, they reserve it for 30 minutes. So it's not like one of these other ones where if someone buys it while it's in your basket, it's gone. They will reserve it for 30 minutes. I'm just going to put Walk of No Shame lip liner on. Now, they are about to bring out, Aldi, what looks, I say looks, to be a dupe of the NuFace. You know the NuFace machine that cost about, the mini one costs about £160? Aldi was supposed to bring it out about 2 weeks ago and it says it's been delayed. So I keep going on to check because that's going to sell out because it's $29.99. And it looks the same as NuFace. Whether it is, I don't know. But I'm going to risk $29.99 just to find out. Because I've had my eye on NuFace for a long time. But I thought I can't justify another expensive gadget. I've got so many. But at $29.99 I can. So I'm keeping an eye out on the Aldi Health and Beauty at the moment. Right, now what shall I put? I'm going to put a bit of... Yesterday I put Jewel Lips. This is the thing. They've got Jewel Lips, Walk of No Shame. And they've got Collagen Lip Bath, Walk of No Shame. And I mean, because I've got the whole Walk of No Shame collection, I got both. But really, I don't see there's an awful lot of difference. I'll put the Collagen Lip Bath on. Oh, yeah, they did those in Aldi, didn't they? The dupe of the Foreos. I tell you what I got in Aldi before. Foot Spa. Right, that's the Walk of No Shame lip liner and the Collagen Lip Bath over the top. Slightly less sparkly than the Jewel Lips, but really not much difference in it. And let's put on some of the blush. Why not? Let's match it all up. Yeah, the brush cleaning Wizzy machine. Yeah, Aldi have been selling that, haven't they? You can get that directly from the manufacturers as well for the same price, I think. You mean I've got that? I need to do all mine. I've been doing them by hand, but I keep meaning to get all my brushes out and just do them with my Wizzy machine because it's so much easier. Right, this is the Walk of No Shame Cheek to Chic. Now, if you are fair-skinned, I would just use it the other way around. Use this one as your kind of main blush and just do a pop of the outer one. So I'd pop the darker shade and swish the lighter one. Just do it in reverse. There you go. I haven't done my brows. But I'll do my brows afterwards and upload a photo. You're going to try the perfumes. I looked in store the other day, but none, sadly. I got all 3 of them and they're nice, but I'm really bad at describing what they smell like. Could I swatch the darker one on my arm, please? Emma, which darker? Sorry, I've got to catch up. You want me to swatch the darker what? Eyes to Mesmerise? Or the concealer? Thank you. As I say, it's for a bit more of a kind of daytime look rather than it taking over your eye. Emma, what is it you want me to swatch, darling? The concealer. Yes. Right, so the Mocha. On my arm. It is quite dark, right? And then I'll do the medium one as well. So you can see the medium one. I can't get over how light the medium one is. See, quite a difference. I kept thinking, that can't be the medium. But look, it says on it, medium. Here you are. So I can only imagine, the light one must look white. I know. But they're fine if I mix them together. Yeah, that's exactly it. You could use the Mocha one as a contour. You can see I put a little bit on, but it doesn't really work on me because it's not dark enough to work as a contour. But you could use that, like you could do make a really good nose contour. Let's see if I can do it. It might show up on my nose. It's probably not dark enough to show up on me as a contour. But yeah, it'd be great nose contour, great contour, full stop. So you can use them and you can mix them. But the formula is worth it. It's worth buying them all and using them and mixing them. Because you mix these to a bespoke shade. Look. There you go, I've mixed it. Mixed the 2 together and I've got a kind of NC30 there. So if you see them, I get all 3 shades and play about, mix them, and I'm definitely going to pick up the lighter shade for when I do my blue eyeshadow. Hang on, tissue time again. Right, any other questions? I hope I haven't missed anybody. I've been so busy chatting. You love this makeup look and the coral shirt. Thank you very much. Thank you, Terry. Good Good tips, Ali. Thanks. Thank you. Do I drive from Hertfordshire to Swansea for a concealer? How good are they? Worth the road trip? I think, right, Emma, the formula is perfect. But if you do it, don't have a go at me about the shades. Because that's going to be the thing. Oh, Nina's going. All right, I'm going to go soon as well. It's the shades that are going to disappoint you. But if you can get all three of them and mix them and be a bit creative, the formula is superb. Look, I put that on. Can you see any creasing? Right close up. And I've got a lot of fine lines under my eyes. Can you see any creasing? Oh, well, if you come to Colchester, you'll have to look me up, Emma. We'll meet in Aldi. And I'll tell you where everything is. I've worked it out over the months. I did powder it down a little bit with that, La Prairie. Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum. A powder that costs an absolute fortune on top of a concealer that costs next to nothing. But yeah, I did powder it down a little bit with a big fluffy brush. And I put a bit of that caviar powder on, but not a lot, because I don't want it to mattify it too much. But there is no creasing at all. It's a really good formula. You won't be disappointed with the formula, but you'll be disappointed with the shades. So if you do go for it, I'd get all three shades and mix them to your bespoke shade. Could you Instagram 3 hours later? I'll Instagram 3 hours later and you can see. How about that? Right, what time is it now? It's I'll set my alarm for 5 o'clock to take a picture and Instagram it. And we'll see. And I won't do anything to it. It's not worth it, because as I say, nothing in it for me to sell you any of these things. But I'm just so confident. I wish I'd actually Instagrammed you last night my eye makeup. I took a picture actually and sent it to my sister. I couldn't believe how well it stayed on. So, yep, I'll do that. 5 o'clock, I'll take a photograph so you can see it 3 hours later. All right, I'm going to let you all go because I think you're all getting back to meetings and things anyway. And do take care, and I'll see you all very soon. I still haven't uploaded. I've done the video, but I did a video on, is it here? I did a video on that, the clear SPF, glowy SPF. So I'll put that out next, probably tomorrow or Friday, because I'm visiting my dad tomorrow. But that one will be coming next. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Don't forget to like this video. Bye-bye. Mwah.